Welcome to another episode of Freedom in Your Hands. Today, I'm really happy. I finally connected with someone I've heard a lot about. I've been so interested to meet her. Thank God I managed to meet her and we connected, and today she is with us. Nada Haidar is a Transcendental certified teacher. She's also an advanced techniques teacher. She has a long history of helping people, especially in Egypt and other places. She has really shared the tools that could help people a lot. I'll let her introduce more of her tools now and talk a little bit more about her journey, because I am interested and I'm sure you are too. Nada, welcome.
Good morning, everybody. It's so nice to be with you and meet you, as you said, finally. So as you heard, I'm certified in something called Transcendental meditation. Transcendental means we transcend the gross level. We transcend. The meditation part is just the witnesser in us to be able to see what it is. So when we transcend, we go to the fields within us where there is more quietness, there is more restfulness, there is more energy. So that is why the technique is so helpful nowadays, because we transcend the gross level. As in the ocean, there are lots of waves and turbulence on the surface, but at the depth, it is always calm, staying in mind. There is a state of quietness, there is a state of tranquility, and also there is a state of active mind, worry mind, jumping mind, running mind. So if we can just go beyond that surface and experience that quietness and remind the jumping mind to link itself, to anchorage itself in that field, then stability, calmness, wisdom increases, because we do mistakes when we don't have that anchor, that stability. So that is why we say this technique nowadays is very, very important to enhance that quality of the self, that quality of quietness in our daily life.
Yeah, I can get that very much, because I have the jumping mind, the all over the place mind, that's 20 things at a time mind. And I was begging for some tranquility, some peace, some calmness. Like, where is that? I call it inner peace. Like, when will this mind be quieted down? So I've just barely started doing a little bit of inner quietness, but I'm so interested in hearing more about TM and how it works and how this can help me and others actually change. What I'm hearing is the fears and the thoughts and the negative thoughts and all this stuff that's really tiring our body out.
Yes. First of all, it is good to understand. It is good to understand why the mind is so now restless. Even with your mental decision to be calm, why it cannot obey, why it's not able. Because we forget that we are not separate entities. We are holistic individual. There is mind, there is body, there is feeling, there is our surroundings. This is all belongs to your identity. And all they move together. So when we experience things in life and it is too much on our nervous system, like we say, like now when we have this pandemic of COVID-19 and people are panicking and in fear, this means more input of stress is getting into the system. If we want to define stress, it is any experience which is overloading to the system. The system has stress because the mind takes that experience, analyzes it, sends to the body the report, the body secretes biochemical thing, so the stress transforms itself from just an impression or abstract to a concrete reality in the nervous system. And it becomes there. It's like a stamp, like the computer that just got virus. So whatever you want to do through the computer, it's affected, its function is affected. So with everything that we, positive or negative, don't think that all stresses are just traumatic. No, sometimes overwhelming happiness. I cannot digest it, I take stress. If I eat something very tasteful and very healthy, but too much than I can handle, I have stress. So any overloading creates stress. And when stress gets in the system, it blocks the flow of intelligence through the nervous system. And this is how the body is restless. And mind, which is part of that, it starts to be affected by the stress in the nervous system. Stress in the body keeps the body in a hyperactive state. I always give the example to my students. The body is like the bottle. The water, mind. If the bottle is always moving, the water inside will be always moving and restless. So mind and body, they go together. That's why we need a holistic approach. We need the stretching to remove the tensions, to make the body more flexible. We need the breathing approach, the breath approach, that is the oxygen that we take, the lungs. And then we need to incorporate the mind strip, because when the mind slips, in the beginning it cannot, because it's stuck. But when you make the body more flexible and you give more energy by oxygen and you settle down, you give a certain platform for the mind to be able to slip. And this is where our technique comes. We create that angle, like when you go diving, we create an angle and you let go. And laws of gravity takes over. Mind is if it is given a chance, mind slips there without any effort. So this is what we say, that it is a help for everybody to be able to release stresses and enhance. When mind and body quiets down, then the body is refreshed by the basic impulses of its basic program that is without stress. So the body releases, starts to clean. And this is how research on this technique, there are more than 600 research. They found that it benefits people in all levels of life. Mental capabilities, their mind becomes, their brainwave becomes more coherent, alpha wave starts to cover the frontal part. In work, in academic performance, many hundreds of research were done, that students becomes able to read better, business people decision making better. So it enhances that quality. And also this is due to the body regaining its balance. And psychosomatic diseases, they go away by this technique. It is proven by hundreds of research.
Yeah, we're going to
Psychosomatic.
talk a little bit about disease and how it's related, but let me stop because you said some very profound things. First of all, we need a holistic approach, and I totally agree. We cannot separate the body from the mind, definitely. So the holisticness, and I think more people are understanding that now, at least my viewers are. They're very interested in a holistic solution, so that makes a lot of sense. You also talked a lot about stress in general and how stress and overwhelm can really, what I say, it makes havoc in the whole system, and nothing works well. Your creativity doesn't work well, your decisions don't do well, and your body also starts to suffer, which I have an example. I got an autoimmune disease because of all that overwhelm and havoc in my life.
Yes.
So what my question is right now, because we are focusing a lot on this situation we really are in right now. For some people, it's been a long time. Some people started the lockdown in, I think, December. For some countries, it's been since March. But anyway, it's been a long time, and there's a lot. One of the overwhelm is the information. The information is contradictory. They don't really know what to do to protect their family. Some people are going into fear or extreme fear, as I say, and it's stressing them a lot. So I want to address how can they actually really take a look at first of all, the situation and see a different perspective, integrating the story, like stepping back, if you can shed some light on that. And then I know that you have promised, and I love that, you will give us, if they stick with us, a tool to help them on the spot from today, help their body and their mind have that beautiful calmness you talk about.
Yes. First of all, like you said, now we are in a situation that we're locked down. And before we are locked down, we did not know how much narrow our inside is, our mind is. Only when we sat alone and we are reflecting, there is no space. But when we were outgoing and doing things, our attention is on expanded relative life. We did not feel, or we did not have chance to reflect what is inside. Now, when we are locked, all of a sudden, you start to do the checklist. And then you find that there is no space inside. And that's why when there is no space, then you feel as if you're imprisoned, and create fear, and fear is a vicious circle. And the head of our movement nowadays, he's a neurologist, and he did many research on this, but he gave voluntarily many sessions freely on Facebook. I will summarize a little, but I will send you the link for his seminars. So anybody, it's free and people can join.
Okay.
But I will give little. He said, as a background of neurology, and also as a background of high level of techniques and consciousness-based education like this. And he explained that now when there is fear medically, we feel that we are breathing from the upper chest. And because we need quick breathing for fight or flight. So you need to fight or run away. And that's why mainly the breathing is concentrated in the lungs, in the upper part. And this gives message to the brain that there is fear. And then it asks also the heart to pump more, and the lungs to also breathe more. That's why people sometimes get suffocated or get fear or anxiety attack, because it's a vicious circle. So he suggested to apply a very simple method of breathing until people can learn properly the mental technique, which naturally creates this. He said you can put a hand on your stomach and a hand on your chest and just breathe now normally. And you will check, you will feel that when you breathe, your upper hand is going up and down. This means you're breathing wrongly. So now, when we take breath, you take it to the stomach. So make your stomach like a balloon, huh? Push it outward. And then when you bring it out, and pull your stomach inside. Again. By making sure that your upper hand not moving. This what it does. It does not take your breath to the stomach, no. It pulls, by this, it pulls the diaphragm that is separating at the end of the lungs, the stomach from the lungs, to pull downward. It's like this, it is pulled like this when you take deep breath. So it pulls the lungs downward. And then it releases the pressure on the upper lung, on the upper part of the lung, that gives signal that there is fear. So by trying to pull that diaphragm, that air to the lower part, and then exhaling, also push it up, it will make exercise for that diaphragm to release the tension that we feel. And you can do it for 5-10 minutes like this, many times during the day. I will, as I said, I will give you the link of his, and you can put it when you do this on your site, or people can benefit a lot. He gave 14 sessions in elaborating about the secret of breathing, the secret of breathing. And people can benefit. For us as a meditator or who learn the technique, breath, or we do yoga exercises, which is the stretching. Any stretch is fine. Slow attention with the body. You do certain movements up and down. You do, many people know such exercises. And we practice the breath technique, the breathing technique. And then when we close our mind, so mind and body now are ready for that quietness. And then we start the mental technique, and then we dive in. And this how it prepares us as meditators to just cross that borderline of the gross thinking level. We stretch to the deep quietness that is within. That's why meditators are less stressed than normal people, because they are stretched and they are expanding the within. Because the outside now is becoming narrower and narrower, even social interaction. It's time to connect with the self.
Yeah. So from your experience, if people start doing that with the breathing and 5-10 minutes a day in the beginning, how long does it take until they really start to feel that they've changed a bit? That life has
Immediately. Immediately. It is like you're hungry and you ate. And when you feel it, because the mental technique is more transforming, it's quicker, because mind is quicker than the body. If I tell you, think about your trip tomorrow, for example, your mind goes there. Think about what you ate yesterday, your mind goes. Mind is very flexible, but the body has no flexibility. Now, when we help mind and body to be together, mind can take the body with it. Mind can take the breath with it to quieter levels. That's why you will start to feel naturally this rhythm of breathing becomes your natural breathing. You will always breathe from your stomach. So make sure that breathing is not from the upper part, from the lower part. And this
like
will...
babies, you see their stomach going up and down in the baby in the crib. I believe they are breathing from their stomach more.
Are not polluted, yes, by all the stresses that we have. Yes. So that they are more in nature. You find that they are so natural and in expressing themselves, in doing, nature is taking care of them. But now our ego make us disconnect from nature. And when you start to say, no, I will do what I want to do, then nature will step back. Natures are God's will. There are the laws of nature that God created for us to behave through. So if you say, no, I know better, I want to do this, then okay, nature will say, okay, then bear the consequences. As you sow, so shall you reap. This is the philosophy of karma. This is the philosophy in every religion. يعني اعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا ترى. Do little right, you will have harvest. If you do wrong, you will harvest. So there is no free lunch. Whatever you do, willingly or forcingly, if you do it, you will be bearing the consequences. And when wrong is done, it cannot be undone. It cannot. When you take karma, you have to erase it.
Yeah, I agree. So, and we see it so often, even in this life, like you see it happening later. And the thing is to recognize it. And I believe, I just want to add, like, you need to recognize, why is this happening? What did I do? What went on? Or even watching others, because that's how we learn. I want to bring us back a little bit to, it's my question to you. So when we do this breathing, let's say 5 minutes or 10 minutes in the morning, can I, right after it, do a kind of journaling or reflection to understand why is a situation like this, or what's my fear about? Will that help me have more clarity of what's going on, better perspective, or more perspective?
No. Usually when you want to reflect on something, reflect on positive things, because when you think of something bad, you are fueling that bad. What we think about, we manifest. So we don't want to give space in our mind for a negative event, which is going on. We fuel it. So what we do, divert attention to more blissful thinking. What happily I can do today, what achievement I can do. And you will feel there is a mobility in your energy towards more happiness and energy. So we don't dwell on negative things.
Okay. So how do we, I'm getting you, but can we add it to right after the breathing, like start putting the positive thoughts, as you say, like dwell on the positive and what can I do positively today, or that will serve me today?
Usually you don't need to tell people what they think, because for example, and you can find it in your life or my life, that we have many things that we have to do. You already know that I like to do this, I like to paint, I like to play music, I like to write nice things, but there is no energy to do that. So we are already having in our mind lots of plans that we don't want to do and we're not able. So now when you finish your meditation, you can put that plans into priority, which is the most important, which is the second most important, which is the third most important, and focus on the important and finish it. And then you will move to the second one because it becomes the important one. And then the third one. That is how achievement grows in our life. Achievement, not dwelling on many things at the same time, because you will, I want to tell you a secret of that.
Okay.
So if we say, if you think of defeat, that's what you get. If you are undecided, nothing will happen to you. You have to know what you want.
Yes.
And know one thing at a time what you want, because when you calm down, you want to use that calmness in creating a focal point. You don't want to create many focal points. You will weaken the impulse. So you want to create one focal point. That's why put in mind the most important thing that you want to do and put it in mind. At that time, you will use all that expansion, that energy, restfulness that you gain in that direction. And this is how you start to do less and accomplish more before you do.
Okay. This, I feel like we need to do another session on this or another interview.
Many.
But I want to go back to, so what do they do with the ideas of, some of them have seen friends or relatives leave the planet. Some of them have gone through a really tough illness. They recovered, but they're still tired. They're traumatized from what happened, whatever. How do people, what tool or what can you share that can help them sort of embody, integrate, whatever that word is, maybe not accept exactly, but to at least to have some perspective about why this happened and to go on after that.
Usually, you know there is order in life. And in the language of meditation and yoga, they say it's karma. Karma means action and the reaction. So it is two, not one, not only the reaction, it's action and reaction. So now what we are seeing is the reaction, not the action, it's the reaction. And that means the karma has been done. We cannot do anything about it. What we have to do to deal with the reaction. So what we do now, you cannot change a reaction because it's done, it's past tense. When you start to experience it, you're beyond, it's finished. For natural law, when you see it means it's coming, finished, it's created, it's finished. So what you want to do to just hide yourself until the wave goes away. It's like a wave, you hide yourself. So if you don't have a tool to hide, then you have to create an environment that like a shield. In the language of Veda, they say like kavash, like a security around you that protects you from external energy. And that is how you purify your environment. Purify things that are old, that are, put plants, put music, put things that elevates the environment. Let the sun comes in. The sun is very strong purifier. You sit in the sun. If you have a balcony, I'm so happy that my apartment is so lighted. So you can sit in a place that there is light, and then listen to nice music, see things that are uplifting. And also don't overdo knowledge. People have too much knowledge. And when you try too much, you take too much knowledge, the body feels anxiety because it cannot apply all the knowledge that you've taken. Then there is somehow more knowledge than ability. That's why in school, they don't give you first grade in fifth grade or vice versa. Every level of physiology, of a state, it has a corresponding knowledge. And it has a corresponding consciousness. So we have to be merciful and treat our body like a small baby learning to move now. And we accumulate, and gradually we will create more stamina, more stability, and filter the people who are around you. Don't be around negative people. And when you start, you will feel, I tell the meditators, when you start to remove stresses from your system, all of a sudden, there is this awareness that why I sit with these people, they drain my energy. Before, you don't know how much draining you are having by being communicating with such a person or such a person or such a person. So you purify your environment and you eat healthy food, full food, organic food, because this have more life energy. And there are lots of things in the movement about that, but now due to time constraint, we are saying just the basic things to
Yes.
help people go out.
So this is profound, actually. So number one, the breathing. Number two, the way we eat. Purify your environment, bring in light, bring in flowers, bring in music, bring in things that elevate your own mood, that we can say,
Yes.
your frequency. You also said that be very aware of who really drains you, and they will start to, you start decreasing the time spent with them, and it will start happening by itself, actually. They will start moving out of your,
Yes.
your energy to myself. Am I missing something? So this is
No, very well. You're very good.
And like
get
the way fast and not resist. Maybe not just watch, like watch from far and just let it pass. That's what I've heard.
Yes.
That's an amazing, what I say, recipe or formula, and there's enough there to start to follow for people. I will put the link of the breathing because this will help people. They can go back and watch this again. I know we could talk for hours because I know you have so much to share, and I'd love to have another interview with you. But I believe we've given them something to deal with right now. And as you said, not too much knowledge. So we give it in little bites, and now they have a good little sandwich to actually digest and use and try and find the success with it.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for being with me. I thank you for
it was great
energy. And I really thank you for putting this information out to more and more people, because people do need it, and this is your giving, your good karma, giving to the world. Thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you. Thank you.